Hello guys. Okay, here we go. This is my UI. Very simple. Um, I didn't put much CSS into it, so let's go. So this is my campus page, and this is my students page. So let's begin with students first. Um, Students, as you see, is basically a table. I think at this point, it's best to go from the code or go from the root, and I'll take you to the campus and student components. So this is my code. On the right side, you'll see my root component. It's basically a big router with only the heading, and it will take you to campus students and have a separate page for each campus itself. And each campus, I think, will have its own list of students. So I said we're gonna begin with students. So let's load up students. So it's gonna be students. Students is a pretty complex component, as you can see. When it mounts, it will do a get student and get campus, and these two are Axios calls. And at this point, I can show you my reducers, I suppose. It's a reducers folder, and you see this is my reducers folder. I broke it down into campuses and students, and index, which basically combines both reducers. So in this case, take a look at student. Has a bunch of stuff, action types, creators, thumb creators. This is the same format as we have in our workshops. So going back to the left side, so when it mounts, it's gonna do a get student, get campuses. Actually, the reducers for both are very similar, so I'm not gonna go into campuses. It's gonna look the same as students. It's when you, well, in this case, handle submit. Well, I'll show you what it does back in the UI. So simply you click on each person's name, and it will give you an edit student form where you'll be able to edit students. If you click the plus sign over here, it gives you a new student form where you can then put in new students. So you put in Barry, and you give Barry Carnegie Mellon, and this form will disappear and Barry will appear with campus of Carnegie Mellon. And you can also edit Barry. You do edit him to Barry instead, and you can have Barry. So when you do a submit, I will want to know whether or not you're gonna update the student or you're gonna create the student. Depending on which, it's gonna do different Axios calls. The rest is just rendering the HTML basically. You'll see that I have a student form. This logic isn't very pretty, but I think currently it gets the job done. I have a local state for show edit and show new, which tells me whether or not I should show you the form for edit or show you the form for new. Either way, they're going to render a student form component. And the rest is just HTML. As you can see, I'm doing this using React Redux. At this point, let's look at the form. I don't think I have it in my Vim buffer, so let's do it. Student form. Student form. I have a local state here that basically has everything you need in the form. So let's look at the form again. It's just naming campus. I have named campus ID campuses here. I'll write. I need the list of campuses from here. So that's that. I have a component will receive props. I think I had that because when I click on each The link doesn't change as you see, but it gets new props. I'll need that. When I do a submit here, oh right, I'm technically doing the Axios call here. But I would need the parent component. I'm calling the handle submit on the parent component too. Yeah, here I'm just massaging my student data, and then I'm just passing the student data back to the parent's component's handle. Not very pretty, but gets the job done. Here's my handle change. Very simple. Just takes the target name, gives it the target value. The rest should be HTML. To campuses. Campus is also very simple. It's structured kind of like the student. The only feature being you can go into Carnegie Mellon and you see that Barry is already created here. You can edit the campus name. You can create new campuses. Clicking here doesn't do much really. So for example, new campus, you can give it Stony Brook, for example. You can save it. Now Stony Brook appears. If you go back to student, you can give them Stony Brook. And back to campuses, Stony Brook, you'll see Chan. I guess I can start from 1, but here I'm just giving it the regular user ID 2. So back to the code. Here is the main campuses, which is the list of campus, very simple HTML. I loop through my list of campuses, and I will render this dump component, I believe, which is campus. No, I provide a link. So back to campuses. So these are just links. And when I click on a link, I'm actually also passing in a state too. So on the right side, I'm going to bring up my app component campus. So you see here, I'm taking it from the locations, which is what's passed in from my link. It has its faults, since if I go here, if I refresh it, it's no longer getting it from, the link, so it's going to just crash, I think. Yeah, but that's the way I designed it for now. I think I did that in order to make it a dump component, but yeah, currently that's how it is. I also pass it to the list of students. So I have campuses do all the work, and campus is just a function. So this has this campus and students and knows how to render. As you see here, both renders campus form, new campus form here, and then edit campus form here. You see that when it edits, I give it a campus property, so that way the campus form will know if I see a property, it's actually edit. If I don't see a property, it's a new one. I think that's it. There's a lot of improvements to be done. So yeah, I mean, you save it, you can see that it's a Campus Mellon, Carnegie Mellon edit. Yep, that's it. Well, hope you enjoyed my little simple project.